I'll do a quick introduction. We lost one member of our team, Danielle. Hopefully she jumps on here in a second, but we have Christina Thompson St. Clair joining us. And of course, Greg will be talking about Payro. Quick agenda is we're gonna have this talk about a relationship, the benefits of our partnership. Greg is gonna go over all things Payro, how it works, how to apply, which is super easy to do. He'll give us some real world examples on businesses that have leveraged Payro and managed their challenges, and then how it integrates with our payroll system. And then last but not least, we will have a Q&A session, question and answer at the end. But as Dina said, we do have a chat feature, so be sure to utilize that throughout the presentation, and we can stop Greg and try to answer those questions as they come up. And without further ado, I'll pass it on to Greg.
Thank you, Michael. So once again, Greg Javins, I'm the Chief Revenue Officer at Payro. Like Michael said, I've been in the payroll business for a long time. So started about 20 years ago. And with that, you know, we had very personalized service, just as Pay Entry does. And we understand the challenges that our clients face. And Pay Entry is so good at getting to know their clients and really honing in on what problems they may be able to help with. And of course, one of those problems that they have seen is businesses that from time to time can struggle with cash flow. So with that, we recognize the problem, and this is across every industry that you can think of, from coal miners to tech companies to HR businesses, you name it. We help companies with cash flow issues. So one of the businesses that we actually help, and a real world example, is a special ed agency. They have 90 employees. Their payroll is about $350,000 biweekly. And one of the things that we do as a part of the process is we look at your revenue. And so we can look over 6 months of your revenue, and we can also see your expenses. And so in seeing your revenue and expenses, we can see that there are times when the cash in the bank will dip down to where if payroll happened to be due that day, you were not going to have the funds in the bank to cover payroll. And so that's where we would come in. And what we essentially are is a short-term solution to a short-term problem, because payroll is your number one non-negotiable expense. You have to pay it or your employees just aren't going to show up. And like I said, those receivables, insurance reimbursement, client payments, they don't always arrive when they're supposed to. So really, even well-run companies can face those short-term cash flow gaps. Or you may be a business that is maybe a little bit more strategic, and you say, hey, I want to keep my operating capital in the bank. I want to use that to go into growth mode, into hyper growth mode. And so I want to keep that operating capital there, and I'm going to borrow strategically at a great interest rate to cover expenses for maybe even just a short few weeks, where sales will more than make up for what small interest rate you may pay for 1 to 4 week loan. So traditional solutions like MCA loans, bank lines of credit, they're slow to get approved, they're expensive, and they add on long-term debt. And what I mean by that is if you go out and you were to get an MCA loan, which stands for Merchant Cash Advance loan, or a bank line of credit, that is going to go on your books. It's going to go as debt on your books. So what is a great way to solve a short-term problem? It's with a short-term loan. And so once again, Payro, this is what we do. We offer 100% focus on payroll only, and we loan for 1 to 4 weeks. Most of the times, if you're experiencing a cash flow gap, it is not a long-term issue. It's a very, very short-term issue that all businesses hit from time to time. And so that's where we can give fast approvals as little as 1 day. Now, sometimes they do take a little bit longer. So don't think, hey, I can just wait till the day before my payroll's due and I'm going to apply for Payro. And then after I apply, then I'll be ready and set. No, sometimes it takes a little bit longer than 1 day, depending on what we may need from you. And so with that, I encourage all businesses to go out, go ahead and apply, get approved, and let that line of credit just sit out there. We do not do any UCC filings. We do not take position on your business. It is a 100% unsecured loan or a line of credit that just sits out there. And if you ever need it, it's very quick and easy to get out. And we'll talk about that here in just a second. So I'm going to back up a few slides here, just to show the state of cash flow in a small business. You're able to see the daily balances for the company in the green line, and you can see it hits near zero, quite often, because sometimes their expenses are a little bit more, and so it shows that we're able to see the net cash flow by month, and this is an actual business that we're able to help out. So we have of course, some success stories and things like that over on the right-hand side, people that we've been able to help and that really use us in a strategic form. So how it works. So apply for free. It takes 5 minutes. I'm going to give you the link. I think it's on the next slide. Get approved. Once again, 1 to 2 business days, as soon as 1 business day, but give us a couple days there. To request funds, it's 4 clicks. You'll literally come in. You'll say, once you're approved, you'll say, hey, here's how much I need. You don't have to borrow your full payroll amount. If you're just $10,000 short, you can say, I just need $10,000. Now, $5,000 is the lowest that we do fund. So your payroll has to be at least $5,000. You'll say when you want to pay us back. You'll upload your most recent payroll report and you'll hit submit. Once you hit submit, within about 3 hours, the money will be in your bank. So we do a direct wire. So you get the money same day in your account. So when pay entry comes that night and sweeps the funds out of your account, it's one of those, you can rest assured and rest easy that those funds are there and they're available, and you're not going to NSF, you're not going to overdraw your account, you're not having to dip into 401k, you're not having to dip into your home equity line of credit, you're not having to go back to partners and ask for more money for just a short-term problem that you have. You're able to borrow it when you need it, and you get funded right away. So who are we for? We're for that small to mid-sized businesses. Once again, 5 employees is the minimum because it's $5,000 payroll. We say up to about 1,500 employees. We recently funded a hospital. We don't really put a dollar amount there. We just funded a hospital $2.75 million to cover part of their $6 million payroll. And they just needed it for a week. They were waiting on 2 huge things to come in from like Medicare and Medicaid, and then they paid us right back. It wasn't really it was just money in, money out. So any industry with tight cash cycles, so healthcare, staffing, professional services, any trade that's out there, any seasonal businesses. We've even funded Spirit Halloween. We had a guy that owned 8 of them. They do $8 million. He does $8 million in revenue in 8 weeks, but he doesn't have any revenue while all the people are setting everything up. And so we covered helping, while they were setting everything up, we were covering the payroll. Once everything was all set up, we knew he was going to make a lot of money. And so we also serve 3 different borrower types. I think that's important for everyone on the call to think about as well. So, and every one of these types is okay. We're not saying there's anything wrong with any of the types, but you have to kind of think, what type of borrower am I, and maybe I should be a different type of borrower. So you have the desperate borrower. It's payroll's due, and you're like, oh my goodness, I just had to spend a bunch of money on something, or this client didn't pay, and you're trying to pick up the phone, you're trying to get one of your bigger clients to pay their invoice so you can make payroll. That's the desperate borrower. Then you have the planner. He wants a safety net, or he or she wants a safety net. They just want peace of mind, knowing that should anything go wrong, or should I have an opportunity to invest operating capital in growth, I have this backup plan. I have Payro, where I know I can make my payroll, and I might use it 1 or 2 times a year. Then you have your strategic borrower, free up capital for growth. That's always a big one. It's keeping that capital in the bank, using credit wisely, using it smartly, and the strategic borrowers, we see them borrow anywhere between 6 to 12 times a year. So that's who we serve. Now, just to recap, whether it's peace of mind, protecting your team, or fueling growth, Payroll Finance gives you that confidence to do it. Only takes a few minutes to apply, quick approval. You only pay any fees when you use us, and there's no UCC filings or position on your business, so it's not like any MCA or anything like that. I'm here for any questions. If you want to put a question in the chat up in the top right-hand corner, hit the chat bar there. You can ask any questions, and I think Michael might be able to see those. But here's a QR code if you just want to scan it with your phone and apply now. Other than that, this is where you would go and sign up. And I'm sure that Dina and Michael and Danielle and them can get you this link after this presentation is over.
We do have a question I see in here, Greg, and I don't remember if you mentioned it, but is this available for a new business, a startup business?
Unfortunately, not really just a startup business. You need to be in business at least a year. So 1 year is the bare minimum. Generally, our terms say 2 years, but PayEntry is a great partner of ours, and so it's 1 year in business. Now, I also want to tell you this: if you have been in business for 1 year, and you at least 1 year, and you've been with PayEntry for at least 1 year, so you've had great pay history with PayEntry for that year, then you automatically qualify for a $20,000 line of credit from us. So if you've been with PayEntry for 1 year and you're going through the sign-up process, you don't have to connect your bank via Plaid. You don't have to submit bank statements. We will take care of confirming everything that you're in great standings with PayEntry, and you can get your $20,000 line of credit. Now, if you need more than 20,000, we just have to do more of the traditional underwriting, where we do look at 6 months of bank statements. But we can do up into the millions if needed.
The other question that somebody said they jumped in late, there is no cost to enroll or sign up for this, correct?
No cost to enroll. No cost to get approved. Let that money sit out there. So it can sit out there for years if you want it to, and you never use it. So it's 100% free. You only pay if you need to use it. You pay the interest. So cool. Interest is 1.5% per week up to 4 weeks. So as an example, $10,000 would cost $150 a week.
Thanks, Greg. That was the last question. How is the loan paid back? Which I think you just said up to 4 weeks.
Yeah. So the loan. So when you go in and you ask for the funds, you're going to say when you want to pay us back, and on the day you want to pay us back, we just ACH the funds out of your account, the principal plus the interest. So you're not making weekly payments. You're not making any of this. It's just on the day you tell us to take it out of your account, we do that. There's no penalty for early repayment. Let's say you borrow for 2 weeks because you're expecting that payment to come in 2 weeks. Well, it doesn't come in. It's delayed another week. You just give us a call and say, hey, look, I need to extend it out another week or another 2 weeks. And there's no penalty to do that. We don't charge you any additional fees. other than the interest that would accrue for those weeks.
There's a question about, I haven't been with Payentry for a year just yet. Can I still apply?
Oh, 100%. You can still apply. Just, you'll either connect your bank via Plaid, or you'll submit 6 months of bank statements. The options there within the portal that you sign up at this website. So you can just choose, how you want to upload those bank statements. But you absolutely can apply.
The other question is, what is the funding maximum?
I don't know that we have a maximum. Like I said, we just funded 2.75 million to someone. So, if your business has a $40 million payroll and it might take a little bit more underwriting, when you get up to those amounts. But I wouldn't say that we have a maximum. And so I think it's important to note we're not a bank. We are a privately funded company. So you're not being run through a bank. We do a soft credit pull, so it won't affect your credit score at all. But we're looking for scores like 600 and up. So we're not necessarily where a bank is looking for stellar credit. They're looking for P&Ls. They're looking for your sales projections. They're going to ask a lot of your time and resources to get a loan. We're 6 months of bank statements and your most recent payroll statement. That's it. Other than that, just some information about you and your business.
Sounds good. Thank you. So if you guys are interested in learning more about payroll and you're a current client of Payentry, you can contact your dedicated client advocate at any time. Just reach out to them. You know how to get a hold of them. They'll answer the phone for you. If you are not a client, you can request coverage anytime at payentry.com. You can also see copies of these recordings. And if you're not a client yet, definitely reach out to us so we can talk to you about all of Payentry's wonderful solutions. If you have any additional questions or concerns, just reach out to marketing@payentry.com and we are happy to help.